Hi, you have tuned into the Raging Aggron Channel, and I'm your host, Djingis, and I'm here with our third last draft recap of the PSL Season 2, and we have the Sapphire Division in the home conference, and four teams, and the four teams in that division is the teams we're going to talk about today. Well, in this episode, not today, because we're going to talk about 12 teams today. So this is the last draft recap of today, and then we have two more to do tomorrow. But first out in the Sapphire Division, the teams we have is the Philadelphia Frillish, the Pittsburgh Piplups, the Holland Heracrosses, and the Seattle Mantines. And this division, if I would have to guess how this division would go, the only thing I know for sure is that I am 90% certain that Holland Heracross will go to playoffs from this division. That's the only thing that I can really decide on, just looking at the coaches and the teams. But looking at the teams, we might find the team names that will stay here. But looking at the teams, there might be a bit of a difference. So let's start over here, and let's start with the Philadelphia Frillish and Coach Terminal. This is maybe the best Dragon Fairy Steel Core you can draft in Draft League format, and I have no clue how he managed to draft this. And it also has a great Mega to pair it up with, and overall fantastic bulk and offensive powers, really. Someone else made a joke here on the dock. We have Kurum Black, Sylveon, Sarina, Jellicent, Rhydon, Leavanny, Mega Beedrill, Jirachi, Mandibus, Rotom Heat, Mienshao, and Slacking. Ooh, this team has so much power, it's insane. Like, no matter what you do here, I'm just gonna change this one because it bugs me off that it has 1200 special attack on Kurum Black. This team, like, as we all know, Kurum Black is one of the best wall breakers in the game. Mega Beedrill is one of the best wall breakers in the game as well, if you look on the Megas at least. And Mienshao hits like a truck. Slacking is such a good Pokemon to have on any team, even if it has Truant. It's speedy, it hits hard, it's so bulky. Like, Slacking can take free hits from a Majerna with an AV, and that is not a lot of Pokemon that can do that. Free stab, non-super effective moves. Take 3 of them from Majerna? No thank you. Slacking did that for me in the league. Slacking is great overall. Then have the possibility to dual dance with Rhydon, have webs with Leavanny, spin with Sarina, defog in Beedrill, defog in Mandibus and Rotom Heat. This team is stacked with ways to defeat almost every single Pokemon and almost every single team that it can face. The only things that might stop it a bit is the what it's called. I completely forgot what it's called. That's great. Oh well, never mind. But there isn't a big weakness to anything on this team. It can cover everything pretty well. But there's... Oh yeah, that's what it was. The only thing that can really stop this team outside of defensive Pokemons would be very, very good physical walls, because the special attack on this team is pretty lackluster. It is. Kurum Black doesn't really want to be a special attacker thanks to its attack stat, but it has to be special attacking most of the time, and it's only base 120. And you have 110 on Sylvia, which most of the time will never be invested in. Then you have 100 in Jirachi, which most of the time will be offensive. And then you have 105 Rotom Heat that has to rely on Overheat to do damage, and that's your special attacking. And then you have 85 in Jellicent with Scald that's never going to be invested in as well. So the team has bulk on both sides, no problem about that, but then it doesn't have the best ways to deal with like physical walls. If it has a great physical wall, this team will have a bit of a problem breaking through it. I can see an Intimidate core destroying this team pretty easy, just thanks to the amount of pivoting you can do with it, that you can switch in Intimidate every single time. The Intimidate course tends to also resist a lot of the moves that this team can go for. So overall, it's a very good team, but it has one weakness, and that is what I just described for you. Other than that, I really like this team. I think this team can go very, very far in the competition, as long as it plays well with it. So let's go to the next team. Next up, we have the Peterborough Piplups, coach Electric Fury, and this team is interesting, to say the least. I'm not quite sure how to describe the team. The team has Salmon, Circuitry, Swampert, Ember, Malamar, Dewgong, Mega Venusaur, Buzzwole, Diancie, Ditto, Bishop, and Oricorio. Like, the team is very, very slow. His fastest Pokemon is base 100. He can't stop webs on his team, and doesn't have sun. He doesn't have rain. I'm just confused about this team. I really am. I like the team, but at the same time, it's very confusing because the Firewater Grass core is good with Swampert, Ember, Mega Venusaur. Like, that's a pretty useful core to have, but at the same time, Swampert won't see too many games because it's just 60 speed and only 110 attack. Like, this thing Swampert relies on rain to be good. And the rest of his team doesn't really support rain outside of Circuitry. So I don't really know about all of this. And then Scarfed Malamar could be very, very good. Scarfed Malamar with close combat can wreck house. I don't remember if it gets close combat to superpower now, but both of the moves works very, very well with Malamar thanks to Contrary. Ditto is always a problem for any team, and I think that could be this team's saving grace to have Ditto on the team, because Scarfed Ditto will allow you to outspeed everything that the opponent has, most of the time at least, and thanks to Imposter it will be able to transform directly, take a resistant hit most of the time, and then see exactly what moves the opposing team has. And that is a very, very good and very interesting way to scout out the opponent. It makes it a bit easier for you to actually play around the team. But once more, the problem here is that you lack so much speed that no matter how much bulk you have, no matter how much physical attack you have, you can't take hits very well, and you will have to take a lot of them. And looking at your team, you do lack a lot of bulk. You really do. You have Mega Venusaur and you have Buzzwole, and Diancie. Outside of those three, you don't really have a great amount of bulk, and that is a bit of a problem. You will have to rely on Intimidate Salamence a lot. You will have to rely on... I don't know if you have anything that learns Will-O-Wisp, but you will have to rely on that. You will have to rely a lot on Thunder Wave. You will have to rely a lot on Hazards to actually get up your Hazards. And you only have, I think, Swampert and Ember. I don't think so any teams that get Stealth Rocks. Well, Diancie should be able to get them as well. Maybe Bisharp, but that's about it. You only have Stealth Rocks. You don't have Toxic Spikes. You have Leech Seed on Mega Venusaur. And I don't think you have a single Defogger on your team. Maybe Salamence get it. I'm not 100% sure. I've never really used Salamence that much. But overall, the thing that this team would need is higher speed stats and a better defensive core. Mega Venusaur can't take every single hit. Buzzwole can't take every single hit. And that's about it. I don't have anything else to say on this team. So let's go to the next team. That is the Holland Heracross. It's coached by Jokra. And Jokra is one of those coaches that can do extremely well or do nothing at all. This is a team that I think will fit him a lot better than the team that he had last season, and I'm really looking forward to actually see him using this team a lot and go through it. He has the Tapu Bulu, Halucha, Necrozma, Zygarde, 10%, Golbat, Kecleon, Mega Alakazam, Clefable, Starmie, Talonflame, Quagsire, and Heracross. I think this is the first... no, it's the second yeah, this is the second mascot pick we have seen in the draft. The first one was Cape Town Crocodile. But then we have the Holland Heracross's Heracross, and I think that this fits perfect on this team, I'm going to say. Scarf Moxie Heracross on this team will destroy everything thanks to Tapu Bulu's grassy terrain. If you have terrain extend on Tapu Bulu, switch out into Heracross and start clicking attacks, you can eat hits with Heracross pretty easy. Unless they're HP flying or flying stab or something like that. But also with that, Heracross eats every single hit and would gain health back to from Tapu Bulu's ability and grassy terrain. Hawlucha works well in grassy terrain, will getting that. I don't remember if it's defense or special defense boost, but it doesn't really matter too much. It gets a boost and it will destroy things. Necrozma is a wall of power. Like, you can do so many things with Necrozma. And it's a good Pokemon overall. Zygarde 10% I don't really like on this team. I would love to have seen a better Dragon type, but it is what it is. Golbat and Kecleon are iffy, but they work pretty well most of the time. Mega Alakazam is a god. It is fast as hell, it hits like a truck, and it dies as an ant. Every single time this thing gets trampled on the toes, it dies. Like, it doesn't have anything to eat hits with, but it deals so much damage that it is impossible to actually see. Okay, let's rephrase that. It has such a good special attack and special attacking move pool that no matter what you do, you will have a hard time facing and prepping for Mega Alakazam. Adding Clefable to this team makes it just so much bulkier, so much and more annoying to deal with. Having Rapid Spin on Starmie is pretty good. Talonflame I don't like in this team. That's like the only Pokemon I don't like in this team. I would love to have seen a better fire type, but Talonflame is pretty good. Quagsire is a bit of a problem. But you have so many grass resistances, so I think it actually works pretty well. The only problem is that Tapu Bulu Quagsire doesn't sound as the best core. But I guess it will work. Heracross, I've talked a lot about Heracross already. The Speedter's is kinda good, mostly thanks to Mega Alakazam having base 150 speed, which makes it very hard for opposing teams to actually outspeed it. I can see two weaknesses in this team. And that is an ice weakness that Tapu Bulu, Hawlucha, Zygarde, Golbat, and well, Quagsire is. I think Quagsire is neutral to it, but at least Tapu Bulu, Hawlucha, Zygarde, Golbat is very weak to ice. And then you have Dark weakness thanks to having 3 psychic types. But for me, that is a bit of a big problem because Necrozma should be bulky or bulky offensive. It can take a hit pretty easy thanks to Filter. Mega Alakazam will be faster and can take everything except the Sucker Punch, and if you predict them having Sucker Punch, you just put up Sub or something else, and voila, you go through no problem. And Starmie can be anything really. If I would have to do something here, I would change Starmie for another Pokemon and then keep Necrozma and Mega Alakazam to take down on knockoff damage on your team. Otherwise, and you also have Golbat that is weak to knockoff. So, other than that, I really like this team. Might have a bit of a poison weakness thanks to Tapu Bulu and Clefable, but it's not that big. You'll always seem, as soon as you have a 4-time weakness or something, it will look way bigger than it is. But overall, I like this team. It has a bit of everything, except it has too many psychic types maybe. Starmie is the odd one out for me. I would go with something else. But otherwise, I mean, it gives you Rapid Spin, and you only have Defog on Golbat as of right now. Maybe Hawlucha also gets Defog. Talonflame gets Defog. So I mean, you will kind of need a Rapid Spinner, and then Starmie fits that role perfectly on your team. But then you will have to leave out either Alakazam or Necrozma, and that's a I wouldn't do that. I would rather have Mega Alakazam and Necrozma on every single team than having to bring Starmie over one of them. But other than that, this is a great team. I don't really have anything else to say on it. And last but not least, we have the Seattle Mantines, coached by Lucario Knight, that also has a YouTube. And this is maybe... sorry for that, guys. This is maybe the most well-rounded team you can find. It doesn't ring well rounded when you just look at it, but looking at the stats and the typings and the Pokemon behind the stats, they are actually compensating each other very, very well. The only bad thing about this team is the speed, and you will know why when I say the Pokemon's names. So the team has Landorus, Therian, Suicune, Roserade, Slurpuff, Acelgor, Gurdon, Mega Charizard X, Charizard X, Magnezone, Meloetta, Cofagrigus, and Porygon C, and Garbodor. There is a big problem here, and that problem is speed and Psychic. You have a Roserade that is weak to Psychic, you have Gurdon that is weak to Psychic, you have Meloetta that is weak to Psychic after it pirouetted dances, and you have Garbodor that is weak to Psychic. And that put a lot of pressure on Suicune, on Cofagrigus, and on Porygon and Magnezone to actually take those Psychics every single time, and they don't want to do that. And the big thing here is that Jack can actually hazard stack a lot thanks to Acelgor and Landorus having a great time actually putting up hazards on your opponent. But the only way to get rid of them is Defog on Mega Charizard and Landorus. That's the only way to get rid of hazards, and that's a big problem. Because if you want to hazard stack someone, you should have Rapid Spin on your team. Otherwise, all your efforts will be for nothing. Another big problem for this team is that it's pretty weak to EQ if Landorus Therian goes down. But at the same time, Landorus is one of the best switch-ins to an EQ in the game thanks to Intimidate and Flying type, so I mean, it doesn't really matter that much. Overall, the speed tiers is the big problem here. Acelgor is your fastest Pokemon at base 145, and then you have nothing after, then you only have base 100 after that. That is Mega Charizard, and of course it has D-Dance, so you'll run that a lot to actually outspeed things. And then you have Landorus, Therian, and Roserade that is 91, 90, and you have Meloetta at 90, and Porygon C at 90. The rest of the team, like, goes off in speed tiers after that. Suicune at 85, 75 Garbodor, 72 Slurpuff, yeah. I'm no fan of the speed tiers on this team, and I'm no fan of the... I really like the bulk, and I really like the way you can pivot around with the bulk. But you lack a lot of pressure on the opposing team, because you can deal damage, you can deal ship damage, you can deal loads of damage if you really want to, but the things that deals damage doesn't want to take more than 1 or 2 hits and then switch out or get healed up or something like that. And that is your big problem here, because I don't think you have a single Wisher, and looking at the team that you have, Mega Charizard, Landorus, Slurpuff, Gurdon, they would love to have, and even Cofagrigus, they would love to have a Wisher on the team, and have a Wish Passer. And that should make your team so much better if you actually had that. And if I would have to decide, I would have gotten a Wish Passer over Garbodor, or I would have gotten a Wish Passer over Acelgor, since you don't have the Rapid Spin in your team. Acelgor feels very misplaced. But I like the team, and it's actually very well rounded. Looking at the Pokemons that is in the team, Landorus, Therian, Suicune, Mega Charizard, that is like a common OU core. What I did, at least Landorus and Mega Charizard is, and then you have a Suicune to take care of the rests. And being able to have Magnezone, Porygon C, and Cofagrigus, they can do their things pretty easy. You also have a great setup sweep in Slurpuff. But yeah, I don't think I have anything else to say here, really. It's a well-rounded team, but it has some problems with speed, and it has some problems with the roles in the teams. Even if it is well-rounded, it still has some problems that should be seen to as fast as possible, in my opinion. But then again, I don't know how Lucario Knight plays, really, what his preferred playstyle is, so he can actually work pretty well with this team. But he will have to rely a lot on Scarfers and Dragon Dances and so forth. So with that said, who do I think will go through here? I would say the Peterborough Piplups and the Holland Heracrosses. I'm pretty sure that those were the two. Yeah. No, wait, that was the wrong one. Yeah, that was the other one. The Philadelphia Frillish and the Holland Heracrosses is my guess is that will go through from this division to the playoffs. And that looks pretty likely. So yeah, with nothing else to say, thank you for watching this video, guys. There will be 2 more draft recaps tomorrow, and then all draft recaps are done, which is pretty neat. So season, the week started this week. Next week is the Friday next week, so in 1.5 weeks from now is the deadline to get up your battles if you're uploading to YouTube. And with that said, thank you once more, guys. We're getting ever closer to 90 subs, well, to 100 subs. We're just 10 away now. We're at 90 at the moment. It feels great. It really does. I really look forward to do this season now. Getting even more hype for every draft recap that I do. Just seeing the teams and go through them. Even though I'm not the best at it, as some of you Sly has pointed out. But yeah, what can I do? So thank you for watching this video, guys. I will see you next time.